This is our snowy owl, and the colors that we need are a little bit of white. The only white on here actually is just the snow. Orange, red, green, blue, turquoise, just turquoise blue, and brown and black. And you've got to make this color ahead of time. This color is, I've got it right here. It's white. In fact, let me get the bottle. It's white and yellow and a little bit of brown. You want to get white, some white and yellow together. Make enough for your whole, all the snowy owls you expect to have. It's white, lots of white, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of brown. Just keep shaking it up and seeing it, making it match. It's kind of that mocha color. Okay, here I go. I'm going to dip my small brush into the small brush first into that color. Okay, into that color. I'm going to draw with that color. I'm going to find the center. Center is right about here, and I'm going to make a little curve comes over this way, kind of like we start the turkey, and then come down with a little V, U type V shape, pointy U or a roundish V. And then I'm going to start right underneath and make the scarf. And the scarf is going to spread out like a smiley face, all the way across like that, all the way across, all the way across. And it's going to go, make sure they don't get it too short. It's the main thing I checked, to make sure they don't get too short. I want to be a couple of inches on this side and maybe a little bit less over here, but what I'm going to do to make sure I don't get too small or too close over here with all this stuff is actually put the knot underneath inside the circle that I do, like that. And I'll make a line that's just the same curve right underneath it like that goes to the knot. And then this just kind of make a little, like a C right there. And then over here, I'm gonna make a little curve that goes up and up with a little line and goes down and down with a little line. It could be different than that. And then I'm going to make his head. Now his head, I'm going to put a dot halfway to the top, from the top of my beak, right about there, about halfway to the top. And I need to make from the edge of my, from the outer part of my knot, the outer part, and from the outer part of my scarf over here, a shape that's not totally round. It's like a toaster. It goes up at first. It goes up, and then it curves around a little bit like that, comes around, meets up with that, and then curves around this way, and then comes up like that. Just nice and broad. So if I bring it up straight, I get plenty of room for the eyes. And then on the bottom, I'm gonna make my little wing first. I'll start maybe about a third of the way over. It's about a third, about like that. Okay, curve comes down like that, and if this one was down lower, it either is going to end on the scarf or it's going to need to come up a little bit, like this one will, up into the scarf. It doesn't really matter. Whatever yours does is fine. And then I'm going to start here, and I want to make a mark half, from the middle, in line with the beak, about 2/3 of the way down, about like that. Not too low though. So that's about a third, about like that. And then I'm going to make that more of a shape like the bottom of the beak, so it's more like a U shape, kind of a little bit pointy like that, and then kind of come up. But make sure it looks like it would end up here somewhere, so it would end up there. I believe when I did it the first time, I actually made that first and then did the wing. So you can do either way, but if the wing goes through there or through there, and then you put the wing on, it's fine either way. Okay, then I'm going to make his eyes. His eyes are I'm going to draw a line up the middle like that. Maybe angle back a little bit like that, and then I want to make the eyes real big, and they're just big ellipses or egg shapes. Just big, real big as I can make them. On this side it's real close, and over here it either touches the beak or just misses it a little bit, and over here it's going to be, again, real close together, and comes out like that. But the fact that they're an egg shape is going to keep them away from up here, because they're going to have to swing over lower than this to get back in over there. So that's the deal there. And then this comes down pretty far like that, nice and big. And then the little ears or the horns, whatever, they're going to start a little bit, probably like right above the middle of the eye, like right there. Middle of my eyes right about there, like that. And then kind of curve up a little bit, curve out and up a little bit, like a horn. It's a horn is what it is, horned out. I'm going to curve like that and like that. So getting all the horns on. And it looks kind of spooky until we paint it. Okay, then I'm going to take the brush and rinse it out and dry it. I'm going to go for my, what did we do now? I'm going to go for my owl color, okay, the owl color with a big brush. Okay, so I'll paint that in, my owl color. Don't let it get too globby, but spread well. And then this right here, this right here, and all of this, but not the wing. I don't need to rinse my brush off. I'm just going to paint the, see a little yellow cast to it. It's real pretty color for as brown as browns go. And then I'm going to wipe my brush off some and go into my brown paint. And with my brown paint, I will paint the wing. Again, re-edge it. Always make sure you re-edge stuff. And before you paint it in, mine's going to miss a little bit, which is fine. I'm going to come out from behind the scarf because I did shorter tails. And then over here, I need to paint over. Make sure they paint over the line that is the line that demarks the edge of the head. And then down here, come across like this and just barely miss the mouth a little bit, the face a little bit. But sorry, the biggest. It's been a long day. All right, I'm gonna come around my eyes. Make sure you're touching this stuff. Okay, right here, it's either gonna go through or it's not. If it doesn't go through, it's fine. You can just leave a little gap there, and just make sure it's touching it. Because I'm gonna put a black outline, but I don't want to leave a big gap there because I don't want a really big line there. And then come around like this. And paint that all brown. Just brown. Paint around his beak so his beak don't lose the shape of his beak. All right, now, then I'm going to paint my orange branch. And because I've got just brown on my brush, I will rinse it out some, but the brown's not going to hurt my orange. In fact, it may just make it look a little more interesting and a little darker. So normally I do a brownish branch, but he's brown himself, so I'm doing my orange branch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little line that goes across like that, a little flat line like that, and I'm going to go up a little bit like that, and then sort of curve it down and up over here, but not quite as high, so it comes down a little bit and then over, like so. And then I want to come a little bit above into his body like that, and bring it over so it's the same place on the other side. And then maybe bring it up a little higher there, like that. And so see, it looks like he's on the thing a little bit. And then I'm going to come down here and make a little, with the edge of my brush, make a little line there. I come down over here, make a little line out there like that. So it has a little bit more, maybe thicken that up a little bit. I'm not sure that's thick enough there to handle his feet. And maybe even thicken this up a little bit so it looks like it's a nice strong branch coming in from the right there to hold him up. Okay, then I'm ready to paint my background. The background is just turquoise. I am going to pause for a second here while I paint the background, and I'll be right back. Okay, background's done. If this happens to be the first painting you're doing for us, it's just the way we do it is we blend a little bit outside, even though it's just one color, it's just turquoise. Paint a little outside, paint the whole thing, leave a little gap, and then when you're done with the outer edge, get some paint, blend it around a little bit so it's not too much on the brush, and go flat around the objects, and then brush that little stripe out. And that way it keeps from being real thick around the edge. Okay, back to my small brush. I want to work out his little scarf. I'm going to start with red, and I'm going to paint where I want my red lines to end. I go a little angle line like that. I'm going to put my, I'm actually kind of demarking where my green's going to go. So leave a little space there, and then put a little space there for my green, and then this can go kind of like that. Mine's not going to quite hit the knot, that's okay. And over here, I'll put maybe a couple like that, and then maybe here I'll put kind of like that. So what I'm going to do now is paint the part that's red, which is going to go from here to here, and around here like that, and from there to there, and from there to there. I'm not painting the top across the top, I'm just painting the sections like a candy cane sort of, like that. And then this part here is gonna, I'll paint my knot is gonna be red, and then, that's what I paint up in there. And then this part right here is gonna be red also. It's okay, it doesn't matter, because I'm gonna separate out the outline. Gets a little bit dirty, it's okay, don't worry about it. Okay, this is gonna be red here, this is gonna be red here. A little different than that one, it doesn't matter, I just need to stripe it. Okay, and then these are all red, just gonna put some paint, put it inside. You can do however you want. My group changed their color, some did orange and blue, they did whatever. Probably not too much orange and blue because that's what the color of the painting is. Okay, then I'll go from red to green, and red might make the green a little dark, but that's okay. I'm just gonna dip into my green. I'm gonna paint that. Again, I told them that if it gets a little bit smeary, which it will, on the edge of the red, that makes it look more woven, okay? Don't worry about that, that's kind of part of the style. It looks more woven. And then here, I got a little touch in here, I'm gonna paint that little part right there. And this little part out here, paint that. This little part right here. Okay, great. All right, now, then the last thing I got to paint that's got a solid area to it is his beak. And his beak is going to be mostly brown with a little bit of black. I'm going to make that up ahead of time. So it's got to be a color that reads like brown, but it's not so dark that a black outline won't work around it. So it's just going to be a nice dark brown, darker than his the brown around his face, obviously, but I'm not going to redraw it. Remember that we made that little curve, then we came down like that, painted that part like that, and painted that down like that. Maybe a little pointier, maybe. And that's that, all right? Then I'm ready to start painting black. So I'm going to start out, we get my black, give it a nice little dry off the brownish color. And I'm going to paint first the area around his eyes. Now, that is feathery. And I always say with feathery on the inside, it's going to be kind of like start and stop. We'll start a little bit and start a little bit. Like a little wiggles where we start and stop. So it's almost like a little lacy looking, kind of like that. Start and stop a little bit. And little arcs too. See how different the edge there looks to the edge, the outline edge of that one. We're taking it and making it a lot different from how we do the outlines. And there's enough there to do it. Because it's real tight. It's not real loose here. It's real tight. When it's a little bit wet, that's okay. And bring that around. Okay, then I gotta probably put a little bit of this kind of squiggly stuff on the side of his head a little bit, like that. A little bit there, a little bit here. This is kind of like little feathers that are kind of growing out from his eye area. The little texture is important, makes it look more natural, and get a little bit of that in there. You know, kind of loose like that. And then I'm going to paint his. Let's see. Let's go paint his eyes. For his eyes, I said with his eyes, you want them to be a little bit down and in from the middle. So I'll put two dots. There's the middle, down and in a little bit, like right about there. There's the middle, down and straight across like that, kind of like there. And then I'll draw the circles around it. And so I'll draw myself a circle. This is pretty dry, like that. And again, I don't care exactly how big they are, just about the same size as each other. And so once I put my highlight on there, it should come to life nicely. All right? Get a little rounder. Okay, then I'm going to start painting. What else we got inside? Let's paint his wing. His wing is going to be sort of a down, up and down type line, like that, kind of like sawtooth kind of thing, down and up like that, and come out. And then if it needs to come up a little bit, it comes up a little bit. And then I'm going to paint, what else I can do inside here? I'm going to paint this little squiggle on the inside, just so down and up, down and up, down and up like that, on the inside of him before I paint the outer edge. And then I'll just paint his feet. His feet, I'm going to paint the bottom of his body, his little curve around like that. I'll repaint that, but just so I have know where his feet are going to be. And his feet are going to grasp on, so they're going to come like this 1, 2, 3 like that, and then 1, 2, 3 like that. So I got two sets there, but I got to make them a little thicker from the inside. It's important I do that so they look natural. So they're a little thicker from the inside, but they end a little thinner, like that. And then, is that everything on the inside of stuff? I don't want to paint the scarf and the beak I painted last, so I better go ahead and start painting. I'll start painting the branch. Okay, branch. I'm going to paint a little wiggly line. Again, this is our tree line, so it's going to look real wiggly. And doesn't have to match the color exactly, kind of like that. Wiggly sort of a line, like a tree. But over here, I'm going to bring it in from here a little bit, so it looks like that main branch is in the front of this part of the branch. And then this part down here, so you can't see it. Just the same kind of a deal. Maybe paint it in a little bit, into the orange a little bit. So instead of just outlining it, I want to kind of create more of a look of a real tree, so it has more dimension to it, see? And then up here, a little thicker on the bottom. It makes it look like it's a real, got real weight to it. And on the top, a little bit lighter. Uh-oh, it's real wet. And I'm gonna put maybe a little small, little zigzaggy lines inside like that, make it look a little bit more like a tree branch. And that's that. Okay, then I'll start painting around him. I'm gonna start painting around his head in a similar style to the lines around the eyes, but a little bit more, a little stronger, kind of like that, and a little bit more wild. And that's gonna come around like that, and then stop right there. This is gonna keep on coming around his little horn like that. A little bit flatter on top. A lot of this will be covered up by snow, but still a little bit of that kind of shape, that look. And you got a random looking, a little feathery, almost like a hairy edge. And then once that's done, I will paint my ears. The ears are going to start off just the same kind of line, but a little bit tighter, almost like around his eyes. And they both come up like that. And they come out as they would. And then they're going to get that little small, little thin line. They have a little fold over like that. So they fold over a little bit. So this is a little bit thinner of a line. And then I'm going to paint little kind of like almost little hairs go up like that. Some little shadow lines that up inside there. That ear ended up a lot bigger than that ear. But you get the idea. Okay. Then I'm going to paint the body. It's going to come down like this, kind of down, up, down, up, down, up. A lot like this, but just stronger. Right, go right through the line I already made. And then bring it around like that. And I'm going to paint his, let's go and paint his beak. We can paint his beak now. Curve across the top, a nice curve down and up, like that. And I'm going to put a little, like a little E, like a little cursive E look, uppercase E look. So there's like a little fold right here instead of just like a C. And then I'm going to let that look a little more woven. It's going to be more of a start and stop line, but it's not as wiggly as the as he is. And come around like there. Make sure you figure out where your knot is. Probably paint that first. It's a nice big circle around your knot, or kind of a roundish shape. And then this is actually the top of his. A lot of times this would be the bottom of his shin, but this is actually the top of the scarf. And then this comes down like that on both sides, like that. It'll come out like that and like that. And then on the end of these, I'll do little fringe lines like that instead of filling them in. Whatever color you got down there, it looks nice. And then I'm gonna put a little line right here just to show a little, like a little fold inside there. Makes it a little more, maybe a little bit in here on this one like that. Shows a little bit more of a fold edge, especially because I have red against red on this one. And then once that's done, I'm gonna put a few, I probably should have done this before, but a few of these little kind of internal little lines like that on the side of his wing. Looks cute, and other than that, I think I'm good to start painting the snow, all right? Now the snow is gonna be dots. I'll paint the ones that are on the background first, and they're just dots around. I'm not quite as careful on this one to paint them equidistant like I am usually, because it's clear it's not stars, so I don't mind them looking a little different. The one way to make sure it looks like snow instead of stars is to put them the same distance apart, but on this one, because the background is light and there's snow all over him, it reads as snow even if they're not quite the same distance apart, so I'm not going to worry about that so much, and the background's lighter too. So it comes around like that. Now, I'm painting on my outlines last, so that's why I'm doing this first. And my outlines are probably going to be a little wet, I'm hoping not, but probably a little bit wet for the video here. But I've got to think about where my snow would hit if he was, you know, for just, you know, gravity-wise. Put some down here, that fell down this snow behind. I don't know if you see that or not. Okay, now the top of his head, I'm going to have a little, it's so wet there. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause and come back when I know that's a little wetter, maybe, a little drier rather. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to try to do this quick so it'll go over 20 minutes. I didn't quite let it dry enough, but anyway, go small brush into the white. I'm going to puddle some. Now remember, think of the outlines as actually part of his head. So I'll put little dots on there, and they got to puddle a little bit. So I'll put some kind of together, but don't make a shape. Build it like actual snow that fell, you know, the little dots. And make sure you've got some that kind of broke away a little bit, you know, broke away some like that. And maybe a little bit kind of came down here a little like that. And then he's got, let's see, a little bit on his, on this part of his what do you call it, Jesus, scarf that stuck out. A little bit on his ears right there, a little bit on his ears. Miraculously, this ear somehow became smaller, you might notice. And just like that, those little quick, cute things like that. Let's see where I am. I'm almost, okay, I'm gonna quit in real quick. Okay, a few on the branch. Look at your finish one, you'll see. Good luck with it. Oh, quick little line right on the mustache, on the nose like that. Good luck. And highlights on the eyes. Sorry about that. Missed the highlights on the eyes. Okay, that's it. Good luck with it. He's adorable.